So, good afternoon to all. I welcome the participants to the session of strategic management. Today, the discussion is on the area of competitive strategy. So, competitive strategy includes different levels of competitive strategy, and also it includes the generic competitive strategy, the voters' generic competitive strategy. The organization needs to understand how to tackle the competitors in the industry, that is different market players, those who exist, and what specific decisions to be taken while formulating a competitive strategy. Each type of industry has to plan its own competitive strategy depending on the product category and the market situation. The competitive strategy will vary from industry to industry to grow or to come out of the bad situation. Michael Porter described the generic competitive strategy in order to cope up with the 5 different competitive forces. We'll discuss subsequently what are the different forces and what is the level of impact and influence of these forces on any business at any point of time. These strategies help the organizations in different situations in order to develop appropriate competitive strategy that can be implemented effectively. The competitive strategies that refers to the various methods and approaches that is employed by the organizations in order to gain the competitive advantage in the marketplace and also in order to outperform their rivals, that is the competitors in the industry. These strategies involve making deliberate choices about how to position the company in the positioning map and also allocate the funds and respond to the market conditions. Here are some of the key points to consider when introducing the competitive strategies. The first one, let us discuss about the concept of competitive strategy, which is a long-term plan which is formulated by the organizations in order to achieve a sustainable competitive advantage over its competitors. It also involves understanding the industry dynamics, assessing the competitive forces that exist, and also the level of impact on these competitive forces on the business, and making strategic decisions to position the company effectively. Next, let us see the significance of this competitive strategy. In today's competitive business landscape, having a well-defined competitive strategy is very crucial for the success of the organization. It helps the organizations to differentiate themselves and also to attract new competitors in order to increase its customer base and market base, and also to increase its market share in the industry, and ultimately to achieve the superior financial performance, that is better performance compared to its competitors and higher in terms of return on investment, higher than the industry average. With respect to elements of the competitive strategy, it typically encompasses the several elements, which includes the market positioning and where the company wants to position its offer in the positioning map, and also the product differentiation, that is in terms of how to distinguish in terms of comparison in a comparative chart, how to differentiate its features and make it better than the others. And also with respect to cost leadership, that is to make the product cost effectiveness in production and also price accordingly. The innovation approach, that is bringing continuous changes in the offer of product and associated services, that involves the valuable contribution by way of the suggestions and feedback that is being received by the experienced stakeholders of the business, and also the to make it more customer focused, customer oriented, because it is a buyer's market, and also looking for the strategic alliance with others, leading partners. These elements are interconnected and also should align with the organization's overall goals and capabilities. Let us discuss about the market analysis. Before formulating a competitive strategy, it is very much essential to conduct a comprehensive market analysis about the industry and the product category. This includes studying the industry structure, what is the size of the industry, what is the growth rate of the industry over number of years, what is the trend of growth, and also identifying the key competitors in the industry, that is the existing market players in the industry, assessment of their strengths as well as weaknesses of the competitors, and evaluating the market trends and practices, and also the customer taste preferences or choices with respect to a particular product or services. When we discuss about the Porter's five forces theory, the Porter's five forces concept, framework concept, is widely used as a management tool in order to carry out analysis of the competitive dynamics that is prevailing in the industry. It examines the five different forces that is acting and influencing on the business. The first one is the industry rivalry, that is referring to the level of competition that exists, because it depends on the number of market players. The more the number of market players, more will be the level of competition, and that includes that refers to the industry rivalry. And the second force that is acting is the threat of new entrants, that is the newcomers, new players, those who are planning and trying to enter, and those who have entered the industry to enter in the same product or similar product category. Then the third force is the bargaining power of the customers or consumers, those who influence depending on the situation of the product and environment. Depending on the type of product, the level of impact of the buyers also will vary, because in some cases, when there are few buyers, like a high-tech industrial product, in that case, the influence and impact of the buyers will be more in compared to the product or services which is for mass consumption. And second is the bargaining power of the vendors, those who are supplying raw materials which is being used as the input in the organization. And the next force that is acting on the business is the threat of substitute product. So the more the alternate choice available for the consumer, the less will be impact of the substitute product. And the less will be the substitute, more will be the impact on the substitute. So it is vice versa. And understanding these forces, which helps to identify the organization's competitive position and also to formulate the appropriate competitive strategy accordingly. So hence the analysis of the five forces framework is very, very important with respect to knowing, understanding, and accordingly formulating the strategy, competitive strategy, appropriate and relevant for the company. Next, let us discuss about the competitive advantage. When you talk competitive advantage, the competitive strategies that its objective is to create and sustain a competitive advantage, that is for longer period of time to come. It is an ongoing process, which is a unique position, and that enables an organization to outperform its competitors by using its strength areas, that is the internal factors, includes the organization structure that also should be supportive for productivity. The organizations, the culture, it also should be conducive and supportive. Work culture, work environment, and the value systems, it all includes the organization culture as one of the important internal factor. The third is the various resources that is available in the organizations, which includes the manpower, that is human resource, the financial resources, material resources, the level of technology that is used, and the information resources. That is how organized is the database updated, which will help in taking decision making by the top management of the organization in the interest of the company and to guide it in the right direction. Then the competitive advantage can be achieved through the factors such as the superior product in terms of the quality parameters. So it is should be the best that is possible in the global, as a global benchmark or standards must be the efforts. Then in terms of the process, the gaining the operational efficiency by the existing expertise of the manpower and the reputation of the product, brand of product that is being manufactured and sponsored by the company, that is referring to the brand image they have created in the marketplace, which matters much for the consumers. And next is the technological innovation. So the level of technology that is used to process the things in the manufacturing unit for converting the raw materials to the finished product, that is the input to output as per the expectation of the marketplace and the target set of consumers. And it should be cost effective, and it should be relevant to the concept of the present situation. And also the issue of customer loyalty. The customer loyalty is a factor which is very important, that relates to the level of involvement of the consumers in the company's business, and it is the highest level is the loyal consumers. First, starting from no buyers to one-time buyer to regular buyers or regular purchasers, and then elevated to the level of the consumers, those who are strongly advocating for the company's brand of product. And that is the stage when the consumers are termed as the loyal consumers for the company. They are the asset of the company, and they give business around the year for the company's product and services. And they also have spread the message as a brand ambassador, as a strong positive word of mouth. This is also treated one of the promotion mix elements. Then with respect to the concept of differentiation and cost leadership, these are two different competitive strategies as per Michael Porter. And the differentiation and cost leadership, if we treat, differentiation relates to offering very unique and superior product or services that stands out of the market, because that is meant for the high-end customers, those who are ready to pay, but they want the best, no compromise in the quality of the product, and also with respect to the brand image of the product. Whereas the concept of cost leadership includes how to continuously do the analysis, market research, and in the R&D to find out the cost-cutting measures, austerity measures, in order to control and check the cost of the product, which will ultimately reflect in reducing the MRP or the consumer end price to be more competitive, and also to influence the mind of the price-sensitive customers on achieving the lowest cost of production as well as delivery. If you think about the China, the Chinese product are termed as the very, very cost effective and attractive across the world. That's why China as a country is termed as a market leader, as a cost leader in the product and services. Then the organizations often choose one of these strategies or a combination of both the differentiation as well as cost is a combined approach depending on the type of industry and also depending on the target set of customers in the marketplace. Next, the concept of innovation and adaptability. In today's fast-paced business environment, the innovation is inevitable in order to compete and also to face the challenges of the leading established competitors in the industry. So innovation is a must as a sign of not only existing but is a growing company. Continuous changes, bringing continuous changes in the product, in the process, in the services, as per the requirement and expectation of the marketplace and the target set of consumers. And also the concept of adaptability are very much crucial components in order to gain the competitive strategies. The organizations need to continuously innovate in order to meet the changing customer needs, taste, preferences. The same consumer is becoming more demanding in nature, which was not there maybe a decade back because of the competition, because of the availability of the wide choice options to the consumers. The customer is becoming more demanding in nature. Introduce the new product and features through the strategy of NPD, that is new product or service development, which is a product growth strategy of the organization. Product growth relates directly to the business growth, giving wide choice of number of brands or number of models and stay ahead of the competition in the industry. And also trying to achieve the leadership position, acquiring highest market share. That should be the benchmark and target of each and every company, and which is a continuous process of improvement in the product, process and services. Additionally, they must be adaptable and responsive to the market shifts and emerging trends, because the trends and practices, consumer habits, buying habits and consumption habits, everything has changed in the meantime and over the period of time. So in order to match to this changing consumers expectation and changing lifestyle, so this innovation and adaptability is a must. Then with respect to the execution and implementation of the things, after planning, the developing a competitive strategy is only the very initial step, which is successful implementation is equally important. Implementation involves translating the strategy into plan of action and also allocating the sufficient, adequate funds in the budget, that is called the term as the budgetary provision, and also the SOP, the standard operating procedure, which will ensure the quality finish, quality product, quality services, aligning the organizational structures which is supportive to the production, and also the processes which is related to the technology, and bringing efficiency, cost reduction and improving the quality, and monitoring the progresses of the performances closely from time to time in the chain. Continuous evaluation and adjustment are very much essential to ensure that the strategy remains the relevant to the present context, and also it should be effective. If we discuss about the ethical considerations, as you know, the competitive strategy should be developed as well as implemented with the ethical considerations in mind. That is the ethical approach, thinking and ethical way of implementing the things should come from the top management of the organizations, and it should be a role model example for others in the society or the community. Unethical practices such as misleading advertisements that is often coming by some of the market players in the industry, in different industries and different service sectors. Unfair competition that is taking place, very unhealthy trend and practice, which is affecting all the market players. And it is a very unhealthy trend that is started by some of the players, which affects all the market players in the industry. Or the intellectual property right infringement, IPR Act infringement, as a legal aspects, can damage a organization's the image and reputation in the marketplace, and it affects badly for the further development activities, leading to legal consequence sometimes and legal complications. The organizations should strive to compete ethically, that is always sustainable practices, and also that is for the benefit of the decisions of the management, which will benefit all the stakeholders. It is bringing a win-win situation and maintains a trust with the customers, employees of the organization, as well as the other stakeholders like the financiers, the vendors supplying raw material, the consultants or the advisory, those who are supporting and giving the right direction by virtue of their expertise, knowledge, the insurance organizations, those who are covering the risk of the business, so etc., etc. All the stakeholders must be considered. If we discuss about the SWOT analysis, conducting the SWOT analysis, which involves the strength, weaknesses, which are internal factors, whereas the factors like opportunities and threats, these are the external factors involved to the external environment, which is a valuable step in developing the competitive strategy. The SWOT analysis is one of the very commonly used management tool used by various corporate houses or various organizations before formulating the competitive strategy and go ahead. It helps this SWOT analysis to identify the company's internal strength as well as the weaknesses and the external environment. What are the opportunities available in order to grab the opportunity and case in the right time to benefit the organizations and to compete with the other market players and to win, and thereby to win the mind of the target customers. And also the threats that is being encountered time to time as posing as a threat, as a challenge for the company to how to overcome and manage it in a diplomatic way, and enabling informed decision making. So decision making process is based on this SWOT analysis. So this tool is very much essential before going ahead for solving the problem by making the right decision in the right time. And next concept is the target market segmentation. With respect to the competitive strategies, which involves identifying and targeting the specific market segments that company for which company has designed, developed its product and trying to market. The market segments, you can say it is like deciding various clusters in the marketplace. Each and every cluster is includes the customers or as a respondents of similar profile. That is, they are having similar needs, taste, preferences, choices, etc. By understanding the needs and preferences as well as the behaviors of different customer segments, the organizations are in a position to make the products as a tailor-made, and also plan for appropriate marketing messages by promotion and communication strategy, and also to design the appropriate channel uh, for the organization to cover effectively the entire geographical area, and also by this way which will ultimately lead the organization to gain a competitive edge over the other competitors. With respect to the competitive positioning, effective competitive strategies that involves positioning the company and its offerings in the mind of the consumers in the positioning map. So they will always look for the area in the space where the competition is comparatively less and where there is a huge potential exists for the growth of the business. Then the offerings in a way that differentiates the organization from its competitors. And this positioning can be based on the factors such as like the quality parameters, the pricing aspects, the positioning with respect to the uniqueness of the product and service that is offered in the market, that is through innovation, and also the positioning in terms of offering the best possible service, customized service, pre-purchase, purchase, and post-purchase stage, or the positioning as a niche specialization, that is as a the stage where the decision called is a combined approach of cost and leadership, that is called focus, the niche specialization, highly the uniqueness of the product and service offer comes under niche specialization. Then the strategic alliances and partnerships is the concept relates to collaboration with other organizations through strategic alliances or partnerships, like collaborating with the advanced leading organizations in related to the industry across the globe, leading partners for getting better technology, better know-how, and also the expertise manpower advisory can enhance the company's competitive position by leveraging the complementary strengths, and also by sharing the resources between the collaborated company, and assessing the new markets in order to increase the customer as well as the market base, which will ultimately help in improving and increasing the business turnover. Companies can achieve the synergetic benefits and thereby gain the competitive advantage over others. If we discuss the concept of technology and digital transformation, embracing the technology as well as the digital transformation is increasingly crucial in this competitive strategy. The organizations that harness the technology effectively also follow the benchmark of global level technology through collaboration with the advanced nations, such as implementing the data analytics and also utilizing the area and the science of artificial intelligence or the automation can streamline the business operations and activities, and also help in improving decision making, and also creating through innovative product and services. The concept of continuous monitoring as well as competitive intelligence concept refers to the competitive strategies of the organization that requires the ongoing monitoring of the market dynamics, closely observing what is happening and what is going to happen, the market forecast through forecasting methods, and also the competitor activities with respect to the introduction of new product and services in the industry. Also, with respect to the price dynamics that is taking place with the leading established competitors, either by way of upward or downward revision of prices, or the competitor activity with respect to the including the practice of innovativeness in promotion and communication strategy in order to draw the attention of the target consumers in the marketplace. Also, by the competitor activities of finding the channel design and number of channel members, and what is the number of intermediaries between the producer and the consumer. The trend and practices that is followed by the leading market players being closely observed. And also, they want to know, monitor closely the customer trend and practices. Because the change in the lifestyle of the consumers, the buying habits, the consumption habits has already changed over the period of time, and this is possible only due to the competition with the presence of number of market players offering the consumer oriented choice and giving wide options to the consumers, gathering competitive intelligence through the market research. And that is a very innovative way from the reliable sources. They want to get the reliable information about the competition, that is called as market intelligence, and monitoring the social data by through the social media and other uh, secondary sources and organizations those who are involved, and analyzing the industry data, that is through CMI, Center for Monitoring the Industrial the performances, and also the various sources, reliable sources. They want to get the data, stay informed, as well as to make the proactive adjustment to the strategies and periodic modifications and changes based on the market situations in the ground level. With respect to risk assessment and mitigation, the competitive strategies should include a thorough assessment of the potential risk that is involved in the business, and also the decision of what is the level of risk the management is prepared to take in the business. So the assessment of thorough risk analysis to be carried out and develop to how to mitigate the same. The risks can arise from factors such as changing customer preferences, because of which some of the products are getting obsolete very fast.
Was it a challenging decision?
And the design and customers, the pricing, the various attributes also associated to the product also changes from time to time. And the company has always should give priority for the most determining attributes from consumers' point of view, and also value addition in the product from consumers' perspectives. Economic downturns, disruptive technologies, or the regulatory changes that is taking place in the external environment, that is by the ruling government, the whatever regulatory parameters that is changing from to time must be noted down and accordingly must be complied with the same without being deviated. Identifying and addressing these risks in advance always helps the organizations to maintain their competitive advantage and also to avoid any sort of possible risk that may arise from the government authority or from any other source in conducting the business activities and operations. With respect to the globalization and internal expansion, the global markets always offers the opportunities to the organizations to expand their reach and achieve the growth through import and export across many countries in the globe. As you know, these things have been very common after the 90s when the era of LPG, liberalization, privatization, and globalization started. And also, it is becoming very common when the as per the WTA World Trade Organization's agreement for the member nations to uh, freely export and import the products across the member nations in the globe. Competitive strategies may involve entering to the new international markets by various methods, whether joint venture, collaboration, or tie-up arrangement through various international channel members, adapting the export houses, adapting the products to the local preferences. One concept called the localization. The standards can be maintained at the global benchmark, but however, there must be local touch for the product and services with reference to the specific nation or country where the company is operating its manufacturing and marketing activities. Navigating the cultural differences, cross-cultural practices, and also managing the global supply chains effectively, starting from, and also the traceability of the product is very important with respect to exporting the product, the origin, the source, and up to the consumers. Each and every stage, the care must be taken how to improve and bring efficiency in the functioning of the entire globe, the supply chain. With respect to the CRM strategy of the organization, that is termed as the customer relationship management, building strong customer relationships is very much crucial and vital aspect of the competitive strategy, because the present situation, it is a relationship marketing which is very much beneficial for the organizations by maintaining a long-term relationship with its consumers, and that is also the advantage of spreading the company's positive contribution through the loyal customers, through positive word of mouth. That is the benefit of CRM. By understanding the customer needs, providing the excellent services through the service blueprint and designing before buying, during buying, and after buying, and also the fostering customer loyalty, the organizations can create a competitive advantage. And also through customer retention, that is very, very crucial and important and inevitable for the companies in a very competitive age, because how to not only the focus is to retain its existing customer, but also how to bring new customers. That is through retention, customer retention strategies, through speedy customer recovery process are some of the steps taken for satisfying the customers, and through prompt action, giving a best fitting solution to the consumers, and also taking the consumers to the stage of delighted consumers, highly satisfied, positive word of mouth, and repeat business, that is repeat buying situation. Then with respect to the long-term sustainability, competitive strategies should consider the long-term sustainability of the business because it is an ongoing process. Things should continue, the product as well as the services of the organizations. This includes with the support of all the stakeholders. They includes the factors such as environmental sustainability and also the social responsibility of the organization. As you know, the CSR activities are conducted by the corporates and the industry, corporate social responsibility, and also presently there is a social audit like your accounts audit, quality audit. The social audit is conducted on the organizations and corporates, to assess what percentage of the profit the organizations spends towards the development of the society or the community, welfare and development. And the ethical practices that is adopted in order to manufacture the product and services of the organizations. Embracing the sustainable strategies, which is eco-friendly and which is the customer friendly, can enhance the brand reputation in the marketplace and also attract environmentally conscious customers. The customers are also very much aware of, very much well aware of what going on, because with a click of a button they can know who are the manufacturers of a product, who are the various competitors, what are the features, and based on the comparison they will arrive at a decision finally which brand of product they want to choose. And also to meet the evolving societal expectation, that is a must and that is made mandatory for the corporate houses. With respect to the competitive strategies are not static and may need to evolve over the period of time as the market conditions and situations are changing from time to time. Flexibility and bring also adaptability to the changes and a deep understanding of the competitive landscape, that is competitive environment in the industry, and also the key to staying ahead in the ever evolving business world, which is a sustainable approach and practice. These provide a broader understanding of the competitive strategies as well as the various elements that is involved in their development as well as implementation. So while remembering the successful competitive strategies are tailored to the specific organizations, because it will not only vary from industry to industry, the approach for formulating the competitive strategies, as well as it will also vary from organization to organization in the same industry. It is based on the market situations and it is a ongoing continuous evaluation and adaptation to the changing scenario and changing environment. With respect to the formulation of the competitive strategy, any organization in the industry has either implicit or explicit competitive strategy. In case of explicit, it is developed through the planning process and taking into account the external environment, the external environmental factors, both micro level environment scanning as well as macro level environment scanning. Micro level environment scanning, as you know, it relates to the stakeholder analysis, and macro level environmental analysis that includes the demographic, regulatory, economic, technological, as well as socio-cultural and political aspects. But it is, if it is implicit in nature, then it is developed through the activities of different functional units of the organizations. However, in the present context, combination of implicit and explicit strategies can be best option. It is a combined approach as it gives the right direction to the organizations in order to achieve its set of objectives in terms of various functional areas or departments, also the objectives of the organization as a whole. Developing a competitive strategy is technically developing a formula for success of the organizations as a classical approach to formulate the strategy. And what are the goals and policies to achieve these goals? These are to be worked out in the formulation of the planning stage of the strategy. If you see this diagram, the wheels of competitive strategy, It provides a broader view of the organization's competitive strategy. The hop of represents the goal as well as the spoke represents the policy. If you see the goal that is linked to the various aspects, that is the goals of target market, goals of marketing, goals of the sales, goals with respect to the logistics and supply chain, goals with respect to the production and manufacturing unit, goals with respect to the workforce, those who are working day and night, and goals with respect to the material procurement in the purchase department, that is the various raw materials that is sourced from various approved vendors of the organizations, and the goals of the research and development unit or the sale of the organizations for developing a new product and services as well as for upgrading the existing product and services of the organizations, leading to introducing new brands, new models, and offering thereby wide choice to the consumers. And the finance and control activities as a goal, how to make a healthy bring a healthy financial situation with respect to the financial funding support, that is both debt and the equity capital sources, and also how to have the healthy financial position with respect to the financial ratio analysis and the product range, giving a wide choice of the product mix to the consumers. If you see the level of formulating the competitive strategy, the four key factors that decides the capability of the organization to successfully achieve these goals. The various factors that is deciding the formulation of the competitive strategies, that includes the internal factors as well as the external factors. Internal factor includes the strength and weakness of the organizations, that is the capabilities and competencies in formulating the strategy, the core value of the organizations as a strength, and also the external factors of opportunities and threats in the external environment. To grab the opportunities that is available from time to time, as well as how effectively they can manage the challenges which is posing as a threat to the organization. The expectations of the society to be complied, that is by way of CSR contribution for the development of the various providing basic amenities and improving the standard of living of the society or the community that is surrounding the organizations of various workplaces, campus, or the establishment. With respect to consistency testing, it is necessary or inevitable for an organization to test the consistency for the competitive strategy based on the four various variables. The first variable is the internal consistency, that includes the realistic goals, which is very much relevant and practical to the current present conditions, and also the key operating policies, which is aligning the goals of the organizations as a whole. Then key operating policies, which is synchronizing with each other. The department, the policy must be in line with the organization policy as a whole in order to get the best performance and best mileage out of it. Environmental fitness, that is includes capitalizing the industry opportunities that is happening or taking place by timely engaging the same, and the goals and policies that is dealing the industrial threats, and also the timing with goals and policies with respect to the environmental changes to be aligned. The goals and policies must be aligned in order to engage the benefit of the external opportunities, and also to stay connected with the high value consumers. With respect to the goals and policies, which responds to the societal expectation, that is the contribution towards the society, the welfare measures, and also the developmental activities that they are planning continuous basis around the year or upliftment of the downtrodden or the economically weaker sections, the tribal population, those who are they just outskirt of the premises or the project sites. With respect to the resource speed, the goals and policies should match with the available resources, and the goals and policies must be adaptable to the changes. That's why the organizations, after formulating the strategy, during the stage of implementation, always wants to assess whether the policy which is formulated is relevant to the present context, or if any change in the market conditions or situations arise, then they may would like to amend or modify the strategy accordingly during the periodic review that is taking place, quarterly review. And with the concept of implementation, well-designed goals which can be implemented, alignment of the goals and policies with that of the core values of the organizations. That includes the value system that I have set as a role model example before others, not only before all the stakeholders. That is ethical way of conducting the business, and also equal justice to all, and reward for the best performance, and also doing the employee welfare activities, creating a conducive and supportive work culture and work environment, sufficient managerial capabilities for effective implementation of the plans and goals. Above considerations helps formulating an effective competitive strategy for the organizations as a whole. With respect to the framework of competitor analysis, after formulation of the competitive strategy, the organizations need to position its business activities in the mind of the target consumers for whom they have designed and developed the offer carefully, and also in order to maximize the value proposition. The competitor analysis is one of the major components of the strategy formulation. The various components of the competitor analysis that includes the future goal, that is the projection in the next 5 or 10 years, that is the vision of the organizations, the current strategy with respect to the mission, what the company is going to do presently with respect to the product, services, process, etc., and the assumptions based on which the things are going on, and the capabilities, analysis of the strength areas or the weaknesses of the organizations with respect to various resources. An organization should analyze both the existing as well as the potential competitors in the industry. And this line diagram clearly shows and depicts the components of the competitor analysis. The competitor analysis includes the current strategy of the organizations, the capabilities and competencies of the manpower they're working, and also the assumptions based on which the business is going on, and also the future goal as a vision of the organization. If you see the future goals, it is essential to know the goals of the competitors help in predicting the current financial position of the organizations, as well as predicting the strategic move of the competitors in the industry with respect to the various parameters and market mix elements. The predicting the reaction of the competitor towards the external environment, and predicting the reactions to the strategic changes that is inevitable. Competitors' approach towards the financial position with respect to the financial sourcing and financial status of the competition, and also the qualitative factors like the target for the market leadership by way of increasing the market share and trying level best to increase the turnover, business turnover, profitability, ROI, etc. Technological and social status is also equally important. With respect to the assumptions, there are two categories when the competitors' assumptions are identified. First one is the self-assumption of competitors, a set of assumptions which may not be accurate in which an organization is operating, which acts as a direct on the forces for the organization behavior. That is, the self-monitoring, self-assessment is carried out by self-assumption by the organizations. And second is approach is the competitors' assumption about the industry, about the other market players, those who are facing as a competitors in the industry, which may not be accurate, but as a tentative estimate and the based on the informations available. It is important to identify the biases so that the errors are minimized. To get the information through reliable sources by the business intelligence activities. With respect to the current strategy, assessing the current strategy of the competitors that includes the policies in various functional areas. With respect to HR policy, marketing policy, production policy, financial policy, purchase policy, etc. So these policy guidelines are prepared for each and every functional departments of the organizations. In competitor analysis, it is very much essential to assess and find out the internal as well as the external strategies of the competitors present in the industry at any point of time in any industry. Capabilities includes the assessing the strengths and weaknesses of the competitors by using the Porter's 5 forces concept. It also includes the core competencies and quick response capabilities, adopting and also the approach towards sustainability in business. Above 4 positions, besides competitors' position, helps the organizations to predict the competitors' move and competitors' activities and status at any point of time. With respect to competitive moves, the competitors can be either offensive or defensive due to the instability in the industry. The organizations compete with each other. It can be classified as cooperative move. It includes the improving the position of the organizations along with the competitors, even if they are not at par. Improving the position of the organizations with competitors only if the significant numbers they match, and also improving the position when the competitors are not able to match with them. So there are various stages and categories. Non-threatening move refers to competitors are not aware of the adjustments made by the organizations or the changes. Competitors are not concerned or bothered about the changes, especially the market leaders. Performance of the competitors is very much damaging. In terms of threatening moves, this type of move relates to predicting and influencing the retaliation. Based on the kind of retaliation the move can be adjusted is as highly threatening or mild. Notwithstanding, the move can be termed as defensive competitors, when threatening move can be termed as offensive to the competitors. With respect to the dimension of the competitive strategy, the various dimensions like the specialization in the product or market segment, like the branding, that is brand identification and brand promotion. Then also concept of the push and pull, that is the degree to which the brand identification can be done. And the distribution channels, the organizations need to select appropriate distribution channels. The quality of the products, it is very important for the organizations to focus on the quality parameters. The technological leadership, it depends on the organization's 6 market leadership, and the vertical integration aspects that relates the degree to which an organization follows the backward as well as forward integration to have a full control on the supply chain. Then cost position, that is relates to cost optimization. Pricing policy relates to the pricing aspects and pricing decisions. Leverages It relates to financial and operating leverage of the organizations and relationship of the strategic business units of the parent organizations. With respect to the fragmented industry and competitive strategy, it relates to large number of small and medium-sized organizations that makes a unique environment without the market leader. With respect to the probable strategic endurance, the they formulate the various competitive strategy like aiming for dominance, depth of strategic discipline, over centralization, false assumptions, and reactions to the new product. Formulating the competitive strategy is in fragmented industry includes step 1, conducting the industry and competitive analysis. Step 2, identifying the causes for fragmentation in the industry. Step 3, examining the causes of fragmentation, focus on finding the causes industry fragmentation. And step 4, predicting the new structural equilibrium in the industry and how to overcome the fragmentation and attractive return. And step 5, coping with the fragmentation. And emerging industries and competitive strategy includes bringing reforms as a socio-economic development to cater to the specific customer needs and thereby with no specific rules of the game. The features of structural environment includes uncertain technological environment, uncertain strategy, high volatility, nascent organization spin-up, the shorter the time period, and also the subsidy in the industry. Formulating the competitive strategy in the emerging industries includes the shaping industry structure and considering the externalities. The organization need to make a balance between the external environment and its internal working, and changing the role of the supply chain, that is starting from the inputs till the output, that is the finished product supplied to the consumers. And also the organization should defend its avoid the barriers, that is the trade barriers. This needs commitment of the capital integration and supplies. In merging industry, it grow rapidly and gain profits, but the decision to enter that depends on the structural analysis, the entry timings, as well as the tactical moves. Thank you for your patient listening.